I would like to just thank, isn't this just wonderful already? A wonderful evening to be out here on a Saturday night celebrating something so wonderful. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to this special event, friends, family, distinguished guests, and all the Life Skills 411 soldiers that are here who believe in what we're trying to do. Although we have made this dinner and this gala and celebration affordable, I appreciate your sacrifice because I know this is a tough time, a tough economy, and yet and still you made a sacrifice to come here tonight. And I would like to just take a moment to talk to you about why I started the URCEO Success Development Program. It's something about when you hear you call them a CEO. It does something to them. As I went to different schools, and whether it was Hunters Point or in Richmond or different community events, and I began to spread a message about being a CEO, telling my story of growing up, born in Oakland, raised in Richmond, coming through a lot of challenge, but now being a CEO, I began to see that this title, it meant something to them. And this was the birth of us looking at a philosophy and a way of thinking that could cause people to think different about what they could succeed. And when I began to look into the eyes of those youth and they began to think about the fact that they could be a CEO, I wanted them to know that they were already a CEO and had to be the CEO of their life, the CEO of whether they had a father or not, a mother or not, whether they had income to do the goals or achieve the goals that they wanted to achieve. They had to be the CEO of their situation. And when I begin to consider that, I begin to look at all the things that a CEO stands for and what they go through. I like to look at a chief executive officer provides leadership. And this is what our youth need to do, providing leadership to themselves despite their situation. There's no time to look to anyone else but inward, to look at what I can do to be a better leader. And every leader has to be a good follower. So teaching our youth to learn to follow that they might be able to lead. Also being a chief excellence officer, never settling, always striving to do their best. This is something we want to push our youth to do, that good is not enough. Refuse to just get by. Many of you have heard me speak about the JGBs. Don't just get by. Always strive for the best, the excellent, the high achievement. And this is what, again, we mean by CEO. And then a chief execution officer as well. The CEO can stand for that. Meaning just do it. Get it done. Execute. Get on with things. Stop talking and do something. Is there any parents in here that agree with that? Can I get some backup on? All right. So stop talking and do something about it. Well, I think we have some youth here that can do that because they are CEOs. And we begin to look at having discipline. As we talk about in our curriculum, discipline is commitment, consistency, and control. And this is what we teach our youth to begin to do. Have that commitment, have that consistency, and then control their own behavior long enough to achieve the goals that they've set out to achieve. Another thing we understand, and the great slogan that I came up with, is you run the business of you. And this is an important thing because we begin to see that you might not run a Fortune 500 business, but you're the CEO of waking up in the morning. You're the CEO of whether or not you're going to do your homework. You're the CEO of the crowd that you hang around. You're the CEO of the mindset that you have. You're the CEO of whether or not you're looked at as an achiever or someone who is not able to achieve. You're the CEO of what you look like when you go outside of your home and the way that you speak to others. You're the CEO of all those things. So this is what we begin to push. And I think that when I look today at the youth who have finished our program, I hope that they'll keep that mindset. They have to run the business of themselves. We have about 27 youth that we're here to celebrate today, but I hope they understand that although they got the knowledge, that the job has just begun. Knowledge is great, but then comes application and fruit. And now we're looking for application to use those tools you've learned to produce fruit. And now you have the fundamental knowledge to begin to run your own business and now increase the revenues of discipline, diligence, and achievement, and continually reduce the expenses of laziness, procrastination, and excuses. we have to get rid of those expenses. And in the end, we will create the profit of success and the wealth of achievement for any goal that our youth would like to achieve. How many of you believe that we have future doctors in here, lawyers in here, people who could be anything that they want to be, nurses? I believe that. And right now, every time we have a young person that doesn't see themselves as a CEO who can do whatever they want to do, I consider it failure. And that's why it's so important today. We have a wonderful crowd here, and there's energy in this building that we want to put in the hearts of our young people, that they might go out into the streets and be everything that they can be. And I would like to say in closing, the future is very bright for Life Skills 411. I'm going to push Terry Fulton, our CEO of Life Skills, to focus more on application of our curriculum. Not just learning the knowledge, but learning to apply it in unique ways. Generating more opportunities for these youth to get out and exercise those skills, be it in jobs, scholarship programs, or even beginning to do things in the community that will help them evoke leadership qualities. We want to push our youth to give and take on more responsibility. Isn't it good to see our youth running this event tonight? They help to decorate. They help to get the people here. They've been masters of ceremonies. They're feeding you. And this is what Mr. Fulton and I will be working on. We want to see our youth run this program. Not only learn from the program, but then to turn around and run it. And not only be CEOs, but start being CEO developers as well. Producing new seeds, planting new forms of knowledge, and being a walking testimony of what we're trying to demonstrate. Nothing speaks louder than any curriculum, any presentation, than the young person themselves saying, look at me, I'm the one who is the proof of what Life Skills 411 can actually do. And lastly, we want to build a strong network of youth who are intoxicated with discussing and demonstrating success-driven ideas. That's what this is all about. And when this is over with, we'll prove that not all young people are just concerned about what statistics say they are, but we have a group of young people that can rise above that and achieve whatever they want to be, because surely you are a CEO because you run the business of you. May God bless you, and thank you for coming here tonight.